so good.
This just hits so hard.
The modern day rendition of the classic. It works.
It works. Absolutely, it does.
Just want to get back to the main part. Let's go ahead and fade you out a little bit.
Nice little fade.
Oh, I love it.
That was amazing.
Eric, Mortal Kombat.
Oh, man. I got to say, if you listen to that intro and your head was not rocking, you probably want to hit pause and turn this shit off right now.
So you were about to hate what's about to happen.
Yeah.
Over 2 months ago.
Oh
2 months
my
ago, we
God,
did
yeah.
our, it was at March 1st was our episode, getting all stoked and excited about Mortal Kombat coming out.
That's right.
It's like yesterday when I remember sitting in your kitchen, seeing a trailer, being like, what?
Yep. With raging boners.
Look, this is a family show.
Okay.
Erections.
Raging boner erections. I apologize.
It's the pleats in the pants.
Yeah. I'm actually having them sent back.
So yeah, if you couldn't figure out what the hell was about to happen, we're gonna talk about Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
The
and
new movie.
If you haven't seen it, again, spoiler alerts ahead. This is your last warning because we want to get into this.
You know, outside of, I mean, really, in reality, like,
yeah.
Is it spoilers? Because like, there's nothing groundbreaking that happens in this film.
True.
That is like, if you're a Mortal Kombat person, like, or a fan into the lore, whatever the case may be, like, you know the gist of what's happening.
Yeah.
But I guess if you don't want to know what's going to happen,
Yeah.
we'll say we'll give you a heads up before we hit the spoilery portion,
Which is about to happen.
which is about to happen, effectively about to happen.
And also, I mean, with how many streaming services are available, and if you got to have HBO, like, if you don't have HBO, again, there's a free trial. HBO always gives a free trial. Like, you could watch that shit for free. Like, at this point,
No excuses.
no excuses. Yeah.
Or like the Pirate Bay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here, we'll do the TLDR
Mm-hmm.
Synopsis.
Okay.
Or recap.
Yeah.
Spoiler free. Eric, go.
All right. There's a tournament that's held
Every 10 years?
every 10 years.
Or no, not every 10 years.
Oh, every year.
Every year. But it's the 10th year that,
Yeah.
what's it called?
That this place, Outworld, needs to win. They have won 9 out of the last 10. If they win the 10th one, they are allowed to invade Earth and control it and essentially take it over, make everyone on their slaves. If they lose, the cycle has to restart, which is what we're hoping for.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. We don't lose this time around. You know, we have select chosen warriors.
Earth's mightiest heroes.
Champions. They're
Champions.
Yeah. Who are marked for said tournament. All goes to hell immediately.
No, it goes to Outworld.
Oh, that's right. Sorry. It goes to Outworld immediately. Technically, it goes to Netherrealm and then jumps to Outworld.
It's true.
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah.
I think Netherrealm is technically the hell in this universe.
Yeah.
Outworld is just dystopian future.
Pretty much. Or Mad Max.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just Mad Maxy.
It's just Mad Max with powers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lightning wizard manages to
Not Gandalf.
not to be confused with Gandalf, helps them
Yeah.
learn the way to win
Yeah.
versus a soul-eating wizard
Who eats souls
who eats souls
and cheats.
and tries to break the rules.
Yeah, because he's a bad wizard.
He's a bad guy.
He's
a what's the
warlock.
Warlock. There we
Yeah.
go. I was like, what's the bad wizard?
Yeah, he's a warlock. Are warlocks bad?
I think so.
Or are we just giving them the?
They're. I'm a bad guy, not a bad guy. Probably the best line in Wreck-It Ralph.
Absolutely.
I love you, Zangief.
Absolutely.
Anyway, yeah, that's the synopsis of it. Eric, do you recommend people to go see it?
Oh man, yeah, 100%. If you watch the first one, you have to see the new version of this. If you only watch the second one, what the hell's wrong with you? Go watch the first one
And then watch the
and
new
then
one.
watch the new one. It'll make much more sense. But no, like all around, it was highly entertaining. It was very action packed. The choreography was amazing. The special effects were amazing. I thought, this is how you kick off 2021.
Yes, I agree. I think the answer is if you are a fan of Mortal Kombat, you've probably already seen it. If you're kind
If
of
you're a real fan, you saw it in theaters like us.
yeah, on opening night
That's right. In IMAX.
in IMAX. So
With
wait,
our pants off.
shh,
Oh.
we can't admit to that one.
Oh, sorry.
Pants were on,
Yeah, they were on
definitely on.
someone's chair.
There was, if you were a fan of Mortal Kombat, you've definitely already seen the movie or saw the movie. Hopefully in theaters because it was significantly better seeing it in theaters than
Absolutely.
watching it on my couch.
Absolutely.
Or if you're kind of passively like, yeah, I've watched the other movies, like I'm kind of into like fight movies and like supernatural stuff, like just action movies, then you'll probably enjoy this one too.
Yeah.
If you go into it expecting a masterclass in Oscar level like cinematography and all this stuff, you're going to be in a little bit of a world of hurt.
Yeah, you've gone too far.
You've gone too far. This is a movie based off of a video game.
Yeah.
And probably the only one that I've seen in recent times that does credit where credit's due.
Oh man.
And is cheesy and is campy is you would hope a Mortal Kombat movie to be.
Yeah.
And if you, like Eric was saying, if you watch the first one, this one is even more so exactly what you would want out of a Mortal Kombat movie, especially when we're looking at like the fatalities and stuff like that. Like definitely go watch it. It's well worth the time.
Yeah.
It was definitely well worth the money.
Absolutely. Yeah. So if you need to go watch it now, hit pause.
And then go.
All right, now you're fucked.
Oh yeah, and then go watch it.
Yeah.
Now into the spoilery points of
Again, this is your last warning.
I was so stoked on this movie, like literally from the get go.
Oh yeah. I love the fact that they brought, the Lin Kuei and the was it Shenryu clans?
Yep.
And they told the story of the history of the clans. I was so excited about that.
Yeah.
Oh god, that was amazing.
So they went like straight into the opening credits, which but yeah, the opening, not opening credits, but opening aspect of the movie like went into like essentially Scorpion and went into the kind of the rivalry between him and Sub-Zero.
Yes.
Right, effectively. And I thought and I think that's really awesome, right? Because it gives the origin story, which you actually in the previous movies never got.
Nope.
Unless you watched the animated film that came out a couple of years ago that was about Scorpion, like you really didn't know his origin story unless you were really diving into the lore of the video games.
Right. Yeah. I mean, to recap, the first one, they were essentially soldiers for Shang Tsung. Almost. I mean, if you hadn't known any better, you would almost equivalent them to being brothers because of their ninja get-ups and their similar powers. But that absolutely was not the case, and I'm glad that we got to dive into that in this movie.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like, they didn't go crazy into it,
Yeah.
but it was enough to kind of show like to create the rivalry that exists.
Mm-hmm.
And they do a lot kind of like telling, showing without telling, which I thought was really cool. Like, I'm no cinematographer or like videographer by any means, but I always hear like when you're trying to tell a story, it's often better times to show to lead viewers through it rather than just like exposition to get it going. Yeah. They effectively explained who Scorpion is, the Scorpion that we all know, one as effectively a vengeful spirit to like come back to life and essentially to like seek revenge against the guy who killed him and his family, which is Sub-Zero.
Yes.
And so they just kind of did that. Like they never really explained it. They just showed it.
Yeah.
With like with Cole having these kind of like dream vision things of this guy in like what appeared to be hell, And then, towards the end of the film, they actually show Scorpion being effectively resurrected back from the dead to be like, I'm alive, bitch.
Yeah.
And like killed and, then go forward on to kill Sub-Zero.
Yeah.
Which was awesome in my opinion.
That was, I really appreciated that whole aspect of the rivalry coming full circle.
Yeah.
Especially in the beginning where he's just telling him like, remember my face. Like,
oh yeah,
this isn't the last time you see me. Like,
yeah,
that was super cool. It took a little while for Raiden to explain what happened to him when he left. But like, I mean, if you know the story, like obviously Scorpion went down to the Nether Realm, harnessed the power of fire and hell, and essentially sold his soul to,
was it Quan Chi, I believe?
Yeah, to avenge his family's death, his clan and his family's death. So yeah, that was really cool to come full circle.
Shinnok.
Was it Shinnok or Quan Chi?
Quan Chi's like the bald. No, I think it was Quan Chi. It's Quan Chi.
Because they're both sorcerers, right?
Well, technically Shinnok or Chinook, depending. I don't know how to pronounce it. I've never heard it.
I thought it was Shinnok.
I've never heard it said.
Oh, I think in the game when you choose him, I think it's Shinnok.
I don't remember. Anyway, regardless, I'm pretty sure he is the one that's like he's like the technical ruler of
Underworld or Netherrealm.
The Netherrealm. He's like locked away because he's an elder god.
Yeah.
And he's like locked away by like Raiden and some of the other gods because I don't remember why.
I think he got involved and
he's evil. Nonetheless.
He got involved and played his hand to try and tilt the tides, and like the elder gods have the rules of like you cannot get involved. Like,
yeah,
there's a line you don't cross, and I'm pretty sure his lore behind it is he was helping the outworld
to try and win.
Yeah,
gotcha. Okay, well that works. Regardless,
yeah,
you're kind of just talking about how he came back.
Yeah.
They did. I think they did a really cool job at it. Like again, not showing, not telling necessarily, and kind of like leading it on into a really interesting point where because they egged Scorpion on the entire time, just being like, he exists, like after his death, like in the modern age. And that there's like something there, but you're like the entire time I was really curious. I was like, how are they going to bring it back?
Yeah.
Like, what are they going to do?
Yeah, it was weird because you were like, well, I mean, this guy Cole can't be Scorpion. Like, that wouldn't make sense. Like, we have a Scorpion. We know it's not this guy.
Yeah.
And so the whole time you're like, all right, well, I mean, character development, which, by the way, the story, I mean, we all know the characters, but like for them to basically, if you don't know them, I felt they did a really good job developing in the time they had who these characters were, what they were capable of, and what their future was meant to be.
It was a lot of like show don't tell.
Yeah.
Like I mean there was like random exposition.
Right.
Very much so. Like don't get me wrong, that permeated throughout the entirety of the film for the most part. But especially when it came to like the characters, like they kind of let the character, like it was like those brief things where it's like, oh, here's Sonya Blade. She's a military person. Yeah. And you're like, all right, got it.
Yeah.
And then it was just kind of like let the character like be the character. So that like that happened with Jax, Sonya, definitely Kano.
Oh, definitely Kano.
Who we'll get to that, but arguably is like the best part of that entire film.
Oh, agreed.
But yeah, and they kind of did that with like everybody to give a little bit of backstory, a little bit of origin story, but then like let the characteristics of the characters themselves come into play.
Yeah.
And I think they did this is definitely a lot of fandom for me talking, but I think they did a really, really good job at like some of the nuance to some of the characters, like Liu Kang, right? Liu Kang being this like kind of like hot-headed, well, like calm and like controlled, but like has this like temper and like fire to him.
Yeah.
That's like almost like constantly trying to be controlled, which they kind of did in the first movie too.
Yeah.
So they like had that, like they had like the cockiness of like Kung Lao.
Yeah.
Throughout the
cockiness, but smooth. Like,
oh yeah.
Oh, like his character was just, I thought Kung Lao was perfectly portrayed.
Yeah. Right. And same like Kano, like they kind of like the first introduction of Kano, they're like, yeah, he's a mercenary that I like kidnapped. And you're like, all right, cool. Like, got it. Yeah. And then he develops. And everything
into the Kano we wanted.
Every single thing that you could possibly want from. Yeah. So I think they did a really great job with like the characters in that sense. Like, and again, this is all through the lens, for at least it's all through the lens of like understanding this isn't like an Oscar film.
Right.
So like obviously it's not the best, but it is the best for Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
So on that note, Kano.
Oh God, yes. Let's get into him.
I want to see if I can find any quotes from him, because honestly, like he was just going off the entire film.
I mean, when we're first introduced to him, he's just like, when he's talking to Sonya, like the whole fucking like, let's see if you're in a natural blonde, like,
yeah,
like the fucking mouth was perfect. He was just like this is what you expect from Kano. Like he's a shit talking merc who's an asshole who's also hilarious.
Yeah. So yeah, Kano was, as the story kind of progressed. Oh my God, Cole finds Sonya Blade, and Kano is effectively like tied up in Sonya Blade's like a hideout place. For those that don't know, he's a mercenary that led the Black Dragons. Which is like the Black Dragons, and so there's stories behind that. But for like literally from the get go, so in the movies, in the previous movies, they kind of did it like they kind of made him a little bit of like a sarcastic kind of like edgy like Australian, and in this one they definitely did that.
Oh yeah,
like
they I would say in the first movie they were like tiptoeing that line. In the first movie they're tiptoeing that line. In this movie they jumped off. They were like, let's take this plunge and let's see what the fans think.
Yeah. So I'm looking up just like some quotes for you. It's just because Kano, because literally like almost anything that came out of his mouth was fucking hilarious.
Oh my God.
Give context. So like exposition, like Sonya Blade is going to like explain to Cole who he is, and he's like, he's a mercenary with the Black Dragon Clan, arms dealer, drug runner, murderer for hire, scum of the earth. And his response is, I also give really good foot massages.
Yes.
Like
oh man. Or another one when they're getting attacked. Cole was like, oh, just hang tight or hang in there. And he was like, oh yeah, no, right. I was about to go for a fucking walk, but that shit was, like, I mean, again, you and I saw it in theaters. I'm pretty sure I was laughing the loudest at every Kano line.
Oh, 100%.
Like, oh man, I was ready for somebody to be like, shh, when they were teaching him to get his arcana, the whole dinner scene.
Oh my God. I wonder if I could find that.
God, that was hilarious.
So like they kind of like explained what powers are.
Mm-hmm.
Or what these powers are and how you get them. And it's kind of like so in the movie, everybody is marked with like the Mortal Kombat dragon like symbol. And that's effectively like that you are chosen to fight for, the earth or wherever you're at or whatever realm you're fighting for.
Yeah.
And so with that comes this ability to like harness like a special power that is like innate to you. And so, which is funny because like, which was where I ended, like when they first, so when Sonya, Cole, and Kano are on the hunt or the search to find Raiden, when they first meet Liu Kang like shoots a fireball at him.
Yeah.
And so the Kano is just like, you just shot a fireball out of her hand. He's like, how did you do that? Hang on. And he goes like, hang the fuck on. He's like, does that mean I'm going to get superpowers at this point? He's like, it does, doesn't it? And he's like all stoked about being able to get like fire powers or like superpowers as they're like going through all this stuff. The part of it is like, you have to discover like what it is kind of on your own. Like you can't just,
they're not just given to you.
Yeah, you have to like figure it out.
Yeah.
They're trying to, it's like, so they're trying to get it out of Cole. They're trying to get it out of Kano. And so they're just kind of going through all of this process to try and like figure it out. And so they were having like dinner one of the nights or one of those things. And they're trying to like, effectively what they did was they egged on Kano, telling him that he's weak, that he's nobody, that nobody cares. And he's
like a vicious little bunny.
Yeah. Yeah. He's a vicious little bunny. So Liu Kang goes, he's like, you're like an aggressive little bunny, soft and useless, angry mentally, physically, you should be on your knees before this man, referring to Kung Lao.
Yeah.
Kano goes, I've got a better idea. How about you two get on your knees and take turns sucking my sack? And so Kung Lao goes, you're a failure. And so this is kind of where it gets fun. And so he stands up. He's like, failure. He's like, fucking failure. Let me educate you, motherfucker. He's like, I'm Kano. I'm the black fucking dragon. And who are you too, huh? You're just some fucking cave-dwelling hippies twirling his anal beads, taking orders from the wushu wanker who wears a hubcap as a helmet. Now sit down, shut up, and pass me the fucking egg roll. And as he's like screaming, he like his eye like starts to light up and he just shoots a laser beam. And so after that happens, there's like this brief pause. And he goes, that was it, wasn't it? He's like, you all saw that. Laser beams. He's like, it's better than fireballs, you pussy.
Yes. That shit was great.
Like, I know I have amazing acting chops and prowessness.
Yeah.
But it definitely didn't do its service. Like,
no, yeah.
That scene alone is 100% worth the movie.
Oh, absolutely.
Because that rant is so funny in context to all of that. And then out of nowhere, he just shoots a laser beam out of his eye. He's like, oh, I did it. And then he turns to Cole and he's like, I told you I'd get it before you. Oh my God, it was best. And also the initial fight practice that they were doing.
Oh yeah.
So they had Kano.
The tip of the hat to the little Easter egg.
So throughout the movie, there's like definitely like little bits of stuff that's like throwbacks or callbacks to like the video game in a bunch of varying different ways.
Yeah.
From like the creators to like tournament style.
Mm-hmm.
And so if anybody has played like early Mortal Kombat, there's like a move where you sweep the leg, Johnny. So where you like sweep the leg and the character falls down, and
that was
it's
illegal, by the way.
And it's known to like for people to just spam it. And once you kind of get locked into that, like it's really hard to like get out of it. And so there's this like little fight pit trying to like train them up because they're going to be literally fighting to the death. And he was fighting Kung Lao, correct?
I
can't remember which. Was it Liu Kang?
It was Liu Kang.
So he was fighting Liu Kang, and so Liu Kang like does a little like spin sweep, like sweeps the leg, and Kano falls over. And he was like, "All right." He's like, "Nice move." He's like, "How about you fight me like a real man?" And so then he does it again, and he falls. And he's like, "All right, fine." And so then Liu Kang like fakes it. And Kano jumps, and then he starts to do it. And in the middle of like Kano jumping, he goes, "Oh fuck!"
And then he goes down.
And then he like lands, and then gets his feet swept out underneath him. And it's like, it's such a stupid moment.
Yeah.
If you have like, so for the casual watcher, you're just like, all right, like comedy in the threes, right?
Yeah.
There you go. But like, if you know like the whole joke behind all of that,
the spam, and you laugh.
It's
and you're
so
like,
much funnier.
Fuck.
Oh my God, that's so good.
That was a really good tip of the hat. But they had a lot of those because you and I looked them up afterwards too.
Yeah. I think it was cool too, like, when they're in the temple, when they finally meet up with Raiden. Mm. But actually, before I even say that, Raiden was an interesting character in this one because he was not any help.
Which I am actually thankful for because I feel like in the first two, I mean, especially with Surfer Raiden,
Raiden?
Yeah, Hippie Raiden. I was just like, you're doing too much to be an elder god. Like you're not abiding by your own rules by kind of intermingling with your champions or Earth's champions. And in this one, he was kind of like, yo, look, pussies, you got to figure this shit out on your own. Like,
you know what? That's a very good point. The first movie, he was like actively training them and teaching them and all that stuff, where in reality, his role as like a god and protector of Earth is effectively to just make sure that like general law and order stays in place in relation to the combat, like the Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
And so you know what? He even says that too, right? Because spoiler, which we kind of already alluded to.
Yeah.
Kung Lao dies. And they made a comment about why like he couldn't save him, and he was like, I can't interfere with what happens. He's like, I'm sad to see it go. It's like sad that he is gone.
Yeah.
But that is my duty and my role. So that's a very good point. Like it's nice that he actually didn't interfere.
Yeah.
In it too much.
Yeah.
It plays truer to the character.
Yeah.
I guess.
And I mean, he does, create his electric force field, right? But that's not in the sense getting involved because they are in his temple. So he's allowed to protect his home and allow his fighters to train outside of the rules, or including in the rules of Mortal Kombat. You can fight outside of the tournament before the tournament starts. There's nothing that says you can't do it.
Yeah, with like squabbles between realms.
And but Raiden was like, look, y'all are in my house, and these dudes need to train, so y'all need to fuck off. And that wasn't a interference. He was letting them know, look, you're in my home. These are my rules. You know, like, so I'm gonna let my fighters do their thing. Versus in the first movie, you know, that Raiden showed up every time, was like, I don't think so, and gave a little finger wag and his electric thing going on, and it was just like, oh, okay, we won't mess with you, Raiden. And it's just like, yeah, that was too much.
Ooh, but yeah, so back to like tips of the hat, right?
Yeah.
Like, so when they first like show up to Raiden's temple, they're kind of like going through. You see Melina's fan.
No,
or sorry, Katana's fan. So you see like Katana's fan, which is really cool, and then the amulet, which was from Shinnok, that also Kano steals or attempts to steal, and then Liu Kang stops him.
It's like, put that back.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, put that back.
What?
They're speaking, and so they have their like first introduction to like Raiden. They're like kind of talking, kind of figuring out like what's happening, and also again, great Kano moment where he gets like sassy with Kano
with Raiden,
or Kano gets sassy with Raiden, and Raiden just like lightning bolt shoots him into the wall. And then like they kind of like just go back into talking, and then he just shows up. He's like, what happened? What did I miss?
hence the call out to Gandalf.
Yeah, he called him Gandalf.
He
at one
did.
point,
Yeah,
too.
he's like, so Gandalf. Like he said, like, Gandalf. So when do I get my powers or something?
Yeah.
And that's when he gets blasted.
You just get blasted. Yeah, there's actually, I just found one of the little lines that was like, so Kano, he's like, he's like, you totally make up my superpowers. I think I get it now. It's kind of like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. Is it going to be a fireball? Is it going to be lightning? Huh? Could be shit. Could be a frisbee hat. You know, no offense, whoever you are, like referring to Kung Lao. And he goes, the name's Kung Lao, descendant of the great Kung Lao, the grand champion of the Order of Light. And he goes, never heard of him.
Yes.
So Liu Kang shows up and he goes, my lord. He's like, I've gathered the remaining champions of Earth. And Lord Rain goes, this is what I have to work with. He looks to Cole
first, yeah.
and he goes, you're in no physical or mental shape to fight. He looks to Sonya. He's like, you don't even have a marking. And like just kind of skips over Kano and he goes, hey, hang on. What about me, Gandalf? Where's my fortune cookie jar? And that's when he just shoots him into it. And he goes, powerless and arrogant.
Oh my God. What I miss.
Yeah, he just shows back up. He's like, oh, what'd I miss? Just like dusting himself off. Oh, it's amazing.
God, I love that guy.
Again, Kano is literally the best part of this entire movie.
Agreed.
So then outside of that, so other like nods of the hat that I thought were really cool is like towards the end fight scenes, they kind of like teleported people like elsewhere.
Yes.
And so the really cool part was like a couple of them were like old maps.
Yes.
So you saw like the bridge map with all the spikes at the bottom.
Yeah.
You saw the one where Shao Kahn is like in the background.
Yes.
So this one they had like a statue of him, whereas you know in the game he'd be sitting on his throne.
Yeah.
So they had
also where they were I mean Raiden's temple was also a map. Yeah.
Yeah. You can like that's right. You can uppercut him like through the ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
That was a pretty cool little like tip of the hat.
I was a little disappointed that when Jax took fucking
it's like Raiko or something.
Yeah, Commander Raiko or whatever, that they didn't use the pit. I was
know.
a little upset that they didn't use the pit because that's what we wanted to see, the uppercut off the bridge down into the pit. I mean, we did get one of Jax's fatalities, which is cool, but I would have been much more satisfied with the pitfall.
Yes, 100%.
Because you get the scream, you get the splat. Yep.
That would have been great.
Yeah.
But speaking of, you got to see some fatalities as well.
Yes.
Like actualized fatalities.
Yes, which is badass.
So what the original movie or like the early movies didn't do was give any of like the powers or the fatalities any justice.
Yeah.
largely because, right, it's a 90s film. Like,
yeah, I was gonna say the technology wasn't there. The budget definitely didn't exist.
And gratuitous violence wasn't really something that you saw on the silver screen. So,
also true.
Fast forward 20 years later, when we've become aggressively more desensitized to this stuff.
The fuck we want.
So, in this movie, well, also we were talking about this before. Like, it almost got an X rating.
That's true.
Or MA rating.
Yeah,
which kind of makes sense because it was not.
It was gratuitous violence.
It was not like bashful in some of its stuff.
Not at all.
So like what like Eric was talking, in the video game there's a fatality where Jax literally just like pounds his fists together and like smashes a head.
Yeah, I think it's called Skull Crusher, and he splats the brain. Yeah,
straight up just punch this dude's head into oblivion.
It was beautiful.
Kung Lao.
That was my favorite one. Legit, I'm glad they nailed the buzzsaw or the hat saw.
Yeah,
whatever it was called. I thought it was done perfectly.
It was great. So in the movie, I actually don't remember the name of the flying. It was like Nikita or something like that.
Something like that.
I should probably know that. She had 0 speaking lines.
She went, ah.
Yeah, she screamed. Because then someone was like, I hate the sound of that.
Oh, Cabal. Cabal was like, because what did Shang Tsung said, isn't she beautiful? And Cabal goes, yeah, that screech is a real turn on.
Yeah.
And I just started laughing so hard. Because, I mean, again, another tip of the hat to Cabal.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I love his character.
Yeah.
Like, this movie set up for a sequel, and I really want more of Cabal.
I don't think he's coming back, dude.
They have to.
You saw what happened to him.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Never mind.
The only one that could come back, Sub-Zero.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Melina dead.
Yeah, she dead.
And Commando Gargorack is dead.
Raiko.
Yeah, that
that's right. So, anyway.
Back to Kung Lao.
So
that fatality was
Kung Lao, if you don't know, he's got like
he's a descendant of Kung Lao.
He's a descendant of the great Kung Lao. Yeah. Never heard of him.
Yeah.
It would have been better if he said never heard of her.
Oh, God.
That would have been a little bit better. But anyway, so his whole thing is that he's got like effectively like a knife rimmed hat, which I think Kano at one point refers to as a sombrero.
Yeah. I'll shove that sombrero so far up your ass you'll start speaking Spanish.
Yeah, that's what he said. Yes.
That line stuck with me.
So, but part of it is he uses it as a weapon because he can like throw it, and it's like a blade edge.
Mm-hmm.
What he did in the movie was, and this is part of something that happens in the video game too, but he like threw it into the floor and it like would just spin like a buzzsaw.
Mm-hmm.
And so this like he managed to get like atop of this like flying lady,
gargoyle lady,
like kind of like a gargoyle, I guess.
Or a bat. We can call her a bat.
Bat, yeah. I think like closer to a bat.
Yeah.
Essentially like surf her down onto the floor and just like surf through.
Split her in half.
And I was reading some reviews about the movie, and one of the things that like, so what we just described is like grotesque.
Yes.
But there's like in the movie, there's like such a level of like absurdity to like the situation that's happening that it's not, I mean, it's definitely graphic, but like you don't feel like you have to turn away from it.
Yeah.
Now, again, that's also coming from two dudes who are wildly desensitized to violence.
Yeah.
And like gore. But that was like from another review that was kind of saying that. And I was like, you know what? I kind of agree with that. Like, it's so absurd and so ridiculous, the situations that's happening, that you're kind of like, it doesn't, even though it is like graphic, it's not the same as like what you would see in like Saw.
Yeah. Or Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah.
Like the butchering or the brutality wasn't there for that fatality. Like, or for any of the fatalities for that matter. It was just like, all right, that was interesting. Like, but you weren't like,
it's almost like comically over the top.
Yeah.
To a point where you're just like, okay.
Yeah. and I think too, like the fan base of those going to see it, they have to know like this is based off a video game. Like,
yeah. Which, if you listen to our previous episode, like, you know, the violence in the video game was what effectively sparked the ESRB rating system for video games.
Yep.
So it makes sense that you would have if you're going to have like a relatively decent movie adaptation, you're going to have to kind of give like a tip of the hat to the original creation with like that gratuitousness.
Yes.
And it definitely does that.
100%.
Like all the way through.
Yeah.
Liu Kang's was pretty much spot on.
It was very spot on. I'm glad they did his animality better with this one than he did in Annihilation, because Annihilation was trash.
Trash.
I mean, the movie itself was trash, but like it was a very claymation King Kong versus wannabe Godzilla snake going back and forth versus this one. They did it perfect. It was so clean.
Yeah,
so
like
clean.
Big CGI dragon. Yeah, and they also gave his attack too, like the bicycle kick,
the fireball. Yeah, they did him really well. I was a little let down with Sonya's, because we didn't really like. So she gets her, obviously her laser cannons.
She ends up killing Kano.
Yeah, but that didn't, like, everybody else had to earn their Arcana after they got their tattoo. She got her tattoo and then like also had her powers as well. And she even mentions like, oh, final gift from Kano. And it was like, okay, but that didn't really explain how you like kind of earn that. Like you don't, because none of them, they all got their tattoo and then found their Arcana.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't double given. It wasn't a gift, So I was a little upset by that. I would have, obviously we couldn't do it. Maybe we'll get it in the next movie, but the Kiss of Death.
Yeah.
I would really love to see that one.
Yeah, she just like shot like a wristlet.
Yeah. her pulse fire fists, I think, are what they're called.
I have no idea.
I think that's what they're called.
Never really played her.
Yeah, she was kind of a pain in the ass.
But yeah, she
was fast.
She just shot a hole through
Melina. Yeah.
Cole, and so kind of talking about Cole, which we've referenced a bunch of times. If you have no idea what's happening, Cole is a new character, brand new, which I believe he is supposed to be canon as well.
Mm-hmm.
So we'd have a brand new Mortal Kombat character, which I thought was really cool, like a really interesting idea to do. They didn't really make any sense of his powers. At least I don't think.
I think it was more of an adaptation of a protector, because they gave him armor. His armor adapted to his fighting style, but through all of the fight scenes, he was very much a protector, very much standing in the line, taking the shots. Like, yo, come at me. We like Captain America says, I could do this all day.
Yeah.
It was very much, I feel like that was Cole's role as the new character, is like kind of the protector. And it like reminded me somewhat of, what was that RZA movie, The Man with the Iron Fists or something like that?
Yeah.
Like I was just like, this is kind of reminiscent of the same idea, where he's just like, now he's just armored torso and like can just start beating the shit out of people with like metal arms.
Yeah. It's kind of like I feel like they kind of alluded a little bit to it, right? Like in the very early parts, like you find that he's like effectively just like a fighter for hire, or he was a good fighter, and now he's kind of like out of the game a little bit, but he still does fights and just gets beat up.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of made a joke at one point about him being really great at like taking hits, or getting beat up. And so that makes sense then, like when the power kind of like comes to fruition, as he's battling Goro.
Yes.
Which awesome, by the way.
Yes, they did Goro.
Did not even
really
touch
well.
on that.
They did Goro really well.
But where he has so then he's like battling Goro, and he finally, like, his family was in jeopardy, and he kind of like morphs into battle mode.
He suited up. That first punch was funny. He's like, he's like tries to grab Goro, and Goro just like, get the fuck off me.
Yeah. He's like, nope. But then he got like those like little blade knives, and it reminded me of oh my god, Stryker from, I think it's like MK3. He's like the cop who had the batons.
Yeah, the two batons. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, I'm like Stryker-esque. I don't know if it's meant to be that way, but
yeah, one baton and one blade.
Yeah. So kind of went in and out of his suit.
Yeah, that was another unexplained kind of characteristic of his character. I mean, I'm sure we'll get more. Hopefully we get more. Hopefully we get a second movie and we get more.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
Like again, I wonder if that was like if that's another nod. Like now that we're talking about it, like because was it MK like 4 or one of the latter ones or like middle ones, you got weapons.
Yeah.
So like everybody had like a special weapon that they can use.
A sword or a bat or a mace. Yeah, I remember that one.
And so I wonder if that was kind of like the nod to being like, hey, and we have weapons. Because at one point you saw Sub-Zero do his like frost sword.
Oh god.
And actually Scorpion brought out his katana.
Yes. We'll touch back on those guys later.
So maybe there's maybe there is like a little bit there.
Maybe it's a nod. But I mean at the end, right? Like Cole's like, yo, I gotta go to Hollywood. We all know who the fuck's in Hollywood.
Well, they made it abundantly clear. They went straight to a movie poster with Johnny Cage.
Okay, but see, Johnny Cage is another like important character who I thought helped carry movie 1.
Oh, yes.
So I would love to have a smart ass Johnny Cage in the new MK2. You know.
Johnny Cage was the comedic relief.
Yeah.
In the first one, where Kano was the comedic relief this time around.
Yeah.
100%.
We also got to see the Nutcracker, man.
Yeah, we need to. That's like the thing that I want the most in the next film is going to be 1, Johnny Cage, 2, doing the splits and punching somebody in the crotch, and I need to hear a spicy toasty. Sorry.
Yeah.
And I need to hear a toasty.
Yeah. And, like, I want to hear a toasty, but I also want, like, even if no one acknowledges in the movie, somebody in the background leaning in and going, toasty.
Yeah.
Like, no one in the movie has to acknowledge it, but as long as it's there, it's just,
Which maybe, right? Maybe that'll happen because in this film, they're not actually at the Mortal Kombat tournament yet.
Right.
Where the video games take place in the Mortal Kombat tournament.
That's very true.
So maybe we'll get it then.
That's very true.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. I would love to see Noob Saibot in the second one.
I would too, but he's kind of an obscure character.
He is.
Like,
we could get Frost. She's part of the Lin Kuei.
Yeah, but I mean that's like way later.
But
like that's a very recent addition into, because you also get like in the newer games, there's Jax's daughter is in it.
Yeah.
Johnny Cage's daughter is in it. I mean maybe, but I feel like that would be
a stretch.
It'd be a little bit of a stretch to introduce like very recent like video game characters into this film, because we literally like Raiko and the Flying Girl are literally like the newest video game characters that we got in this movie.
Yeah.
Whereas then like next up would have been Cabal, which I think he was in MK3.
I think he was, yeah.
He might have been in MK2 actually.
I think he was in 2 because that's when the robots were in there too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, but everybody else was literally from like, other than Cole, was in like original movie. Like
Kung Lao was MK2, I think, or MK. He was in 1.
Yeah, he was one of the first characters.
Fuck.
Because the first game was like you got Jax, Sonya, Liu Kang, Kung Lao, Scorpion, Sub-Zero, and then you got there's a secret character that you could unlock, which was like what they called Smoke.
Yeah, Smoke.
Which was just the like straight black character. And was, I believe, Reptile.
I think you could get Reptile too, yeah.
I think Reptile was one of the other characters. And then I think if you had a code, you can play as like Goro or something like that.
Yeah, you had to have like a Game Shark or something to get Goro. Yeah.
Like there was code in there for him.
Yeah.
Something like that. And then, 2, you got to play as like Minotaur or Mintaro or something like that.
Yeah.
Forget his name. He is a Minotaur.
Yes.
But that's not his name.
Yeah. I think it is Mintaro, though.
I think that sounds Mortal Kombat-y.
They're just like, how do we make this a Mortal Kombat character?
Just add an O at it.
Mintaro.
Minotauro. Perfect. Nailed
Take the A, put it at the end.
But I'd be surprised. But yeah, like definitely want the toasty, want the Johnny Cage split dick punch.
Yes.
But it does open up, right? Because all of the Shang Tsung's fighters died.
Yeah.
It now opens up the door for like new characters to be shown, which could be, like potentially people that we saw in like the second Mortal Kombat movie from like the 90s.
God.
So we can get like a Shiva. We could get Mitaro, Motaro. The more that I say that, like, I'm trying to figure out what it is. I mean, I could look it up, but what's the fun in that? Reptile showed up, but Reptile's dead now.
Yeah.
I'd be surprised if we got the cyborgs.
Well, okay, real quick. When Shang Tsung said release the reptilian, I felt like it kind of alluded to that there was more than one reptilian.
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping, right? Because I would love to see Reptile come back in his green ninja suit versus just being in his reptile form. I know he that is both, obviously, but like, I don't want to see them fight a green dragon anymore. I want to see Reptile be Reptile. Well, yeah, but it was an interesting, like, it is an interesting choice, like, because there is in the video games, like, there is like you get the green ninja suit, but then at one point, they turned him into an actual, like, reptile, like, lizard person. Yeah. And then back into the reptile that we know. Yes. But I think part of it is, like, we already had, like, Sub-Zero and Scorpion being effectively the same get-up with just yellow and blue. Yeah. And that was, like, one of the large complaints in the video games to begin with, is, like, here's 6 character, like, designs. And here's yellow Sub-Zero, here's green Sub-Zero, here's red Sub-Zero, yeah, here's black Sub-Zero,
here's gray Sub-Zero.
Gray Sub-Zero.
Right? And so you're kind of like there was a pink or a red one, which I can't remember what his name was. God, I remember playing him. Which he eventually had a character redesign. Yes. Oh, it's killing me that I can't remember this.
Hold on, real quick. What did you say the Minotaur's name was?
Motaro.
You were very close. Actually, I think you were spot on. I would say Motaro. Yeah,
Motaro. Damn. Look at my really good, very selective memory. Yes. Motaro. Okay, that sounds better.
Let's see.
It's rain.
Oh, it's Ermac. Yeah.
Wait, what's that backwards?
Camry.
Never mind.
Camry. Toyota Camry.
So
So he went from that red ninja.
Yep.
To that red ninja.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, that was his rework.
That's the new one. Mm-hmm. And then there is a Rain.
Yes.
Is he? Was he one of the ninja ones? I can't remember.
I believe he was. He had the purple. He was the purple.
Was he the purpley
one?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So we just named like 7 colors. Perfect.
Yeah.
That were all literally the same character designs. So I think, like, to throw in, who did you say? Oh, Reptile in the green.
Yeah, Reptile.
It would just be, I think, a little too, like, just too much of the same, like, costumes.
How dare you?
I mean, I'm not disagreeing with you, but even, like, I think they did a great job at kind of just, like, having variation with, like, how Sub-Zero's like costume. And
then what about this one? We could do that one.
Yeah, that could make sense.
Yeah, like, I could get down with the Reptile in a ninja suit.
Yeah. He's green.
Yeah,
just wearing a ninja suit.
Yeah, then I get both, but then that would make more sense, right? Like if they did that, or even like.
But it does.
Piccolo get up.
It does. Oh, no. It does like work well though. I think I kind of liked the idea of him being like very lizardy.
Yes.
Largely because it's at the point where they're talking about their like star killers. Or Shang Tsung is talking about his like star killers, and like we need people to send in. Mm-hmm. And so he was effectively like, "What assassins do we have?" And he was like looking at, and because like Melina was like, "Well, I'll take them," and then you had like Cabal show up, and he's like, "Oh, well, I'll do them or whatever." And he's like, "No, we'll just send in the Reptile."
Yeah.
So like it's kind of like, and you have these like beastie looking characters minus Cabal, that it kind of like shows the monstrosity that is like Outworld.
Yeah.
So I kind of like that idea. But as a nod to the classic, it wouldn't hurt. I could get behind kind of like the Reptile in ninja suit.
Yeah, I think that'd be dope, because then at that point, like, he could take off his mask, do his tongue lash or his spit, and then throw it back on, or just like it gets knocked off and it's like, all right, motherfucker, now you like Now I'm going to use
You've unleashed the beast.
Yeah, now I'm going to use my venom on you. I think that'd be dope.
As an aside, while they were fighting, so Reptile shows up and Sonya Blade's like compound
fortress of
solitude.
Yeah.
And so they're fighting him, and eventually Kano is like trying to get free, and Sonya Blade throws a knife and just stabs Kano like square in the leg.
He should have died. Like an artery was definitely severed from that throw.
Yeah, they kind of just like didn't really acknowledge the fact that he just got
Other than the fact that he goes, "You threw a fucking knife into my leg
on purpose."
God, that was so great. And it was his knife.
Yeah, and it was his knife. Oh, I forgot about that.
Oh, and not only that, he walked fine through the desert afterwards.
Yeah, that's true. They really didn't dive too deep into what the hell's going on with that.
That was like a real quick heal.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah.
So I just want to make note of that awesome moment. How'd you feel at Goro's entrance?
Where he says, glad to have Shao Kahn blood.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty dope.
Yeah.
I thought that was a pretty, I mean, if you're a fan, you know who they're talking about. And then to show him later, it was just like, oh, yes. I also appreciated that they didn't make Goro big and dumb.
Yes.
Especially in the barn scene where Cole's like, oh, this is a big dumb guy. I'm just going to put a mirror here and fake him out. And then fucking Goro comes through the fucking side of the barn and is just like, come here, motherfucker. Like, yeah, no, that was really good.
Yes. They that is good, right? They didn't make the giant four-armed monster just a straight up idiot.
Yeah.
Like his father is the ruler of Outworld.
Yes.
Like he's not this like dumb beast.
Yeah.
Which is nice because that's effectively what they made him.
Yeah.
Or they didn't make him that.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I agree with you, right? They like so Cole like runs into this like barn at the house, and he like the first thing he does is like sets up a mirror and like kind of shimmies his way over, and he's like looking at the entrance of the barn like through the mirror. And it was kind of when I was like, man, I'm like, this is the way that they're gonna do this.
Yeah.
I was kind of like, come on. And so when he like punched through the side of the wall, I was like, oh, thank God.
Yeah, you just see the fist come through, and like his reaction is like, oh shit, he's not big and dumb. Like,
yeah, I was really happy about that because I was like, oh, don't do him dirty like this.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. I mean, it was funny when Johnny Cage took him down in the first movie, but I was just like, I don't want to see that again.
Yeah.
I don't want it to be that easy.
No, and it wasn't, right? The part, like, so the whole thing with like when they were trying to get Kano to get his power and like egg him on and feel like, emotion and like essentially a dark place. That's how Kano got his powers. And so pretty much Goro was the catalyst to getting Cole his powers.
Yes. Yeah.
Because they were about to.
And his wife took an axe to Goro.
He did. Yeah, that's true.
She stabbed the shit out of him with an axe.
Yeah, I don't think the wife gets enough credit.
No,
because think about that. Like, she has no idea what's happening other than like an assassin is trying to kill them.
Not an assassin, a fucking monster.
Well, no, like with Sub-Zero.
Oh, well,
when they were at the restaurant.
Yes, yeah.
Right. So they kind of just know that this guy is trying to kill them, and then also this random military dude like gives them their car and they're like, go hide. Which again, like, happens very fast and like not a lot of questions being asked.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest, but she like has no idea what's happening. Cole, like that, like 20 minutes prior, just kind of shows up.
Yeah.
Through
out of an electrical portal,
like a portal made out of electricity.
Yeah.
And she goes, "Are you okay?" He's like, "It'll be fine. Like, we're all good." And then this giant monster just shows up. Like, and I like that they didn't like make him. Because like in the previous movie, they like made him towering, but he wasn't like that big.
Yeah.
This one, he's a giant monster.
Yeah. He's huge.
Like noticeably larger than everything around him.
He is huge.
And so this lady, no idea what's happening. She's like watching in horror as they're like her husband's getting beat up by a four-armed monster.
Yep.
And when it's like at this point where he's like, it looks like he's like getting choked, or yeah, he is getting choked. No, she's pulling his arms apart.
No, he says, "I'm gonna rip your spine out of your."
Oh, out of your That's right. And so wife like grabs axe tells like daughter just like chill for a sec
and just charges
and like hits him in the back with an axe.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Right.
And then she was like, oh shit. And then she takes a punch to the gut, like flies 20 feet.
Yeah.
She's down for a solid 2-3 minutes. And then she's like, oh shit. We gotta go. Like get in the truck. Let's go. And then she, instead of leaving, she tries to run his ass over.
True.
Like, she's the MVP of that fight.
Let's be honest.
Yeah. I mean, Cole finished it, but he wouldn't have made it to the finishing round if she had not stepped in.
So big ups. Shout out to her family.
Yeah.
Shout out to his family.
To his family, yep.
For crushing it there.
Yep. They did really good.
And then, the other fatality we didn't talk about was scorpions.
We haven't gotten there yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there something else you wanted to get before we got there?
I was trying to think. Let's see. Oh yeah, like
kind of jumping around.
Well, I want to hit Cabal like before we get to like the ending and when we get to that big. Like I want to hit Cabal. Like I thought. Oh man, his lines were hilarious too. It's like, was there a loudmouth asshole goes by the name of Kano? Like he'll fuck it up for you. You wait. Like that shit was hilarious. And his fight scenes, I thought they did him perfectly.
They really did.
Like he had his
like scythe
things.
His
scythes that turned purple. Like I don't know what they were called, but and then his turbo speed.
Yeah.
Like how he had his shadow flat or shadow run or shadow dash. I would have loved to seen him use the shadow dash to make
like
whoever was
somebody
fighting,
like spin around.
Yeah, that would have been that would have made it better than it was. I mean, it was already good. It would have made it perfect.
That's like almost too cheesy.
I agree. Right? I agree. But I still would have loved to see it.
Yeah, for sure. Like you'd love to see it. It was like to have him run by so fast that people like spin around because you're like, whoa, he's so quick. Might be a little too much.
But who did he fight? Liu Kang, right?
Yes.
I feel like Liu Kang could have recovered from that. He'd have been all right.
Oh, for sure. I mean, for sure. No, I don't think I said it, but I was mentally very impressed.
Yeah.
When they like had him actually like show his powers, because I was like, fuck, like they like of all of the powers and like the visual representations of power, I thought he did the best. They did him the best.
I agree.
Because it looked cool.
Yeah.
Like, which is the biggest one.
Yeah. They took the look from the video game of the shadow black and purple in his speed movements, in his dashes. They took the scythes lighting up in a purple, which came straight from the game, and just I mean, obviously with film they're doing such a great job, but like it followed, it worked perfect. I thought it was so cool.
That was, I think, outside of Kano's ridiculousness. Yeah. I think the fight sequence with Cabal was probably my favorite.
Yeah. Short-lived, but
yeah,
definitely one of the better ones.
Outside, very short-lived, but I thought it was really, really cool. Really, really good. I don't remember.
The one I'm a little confused by, I don't remember if Melina had a teleport jump. I can't. I mean,
in the movie or
in the
game?
In the game, I remember everything else. Like, I mean, she had her sight or her
size,
and she had her her dad's mouth.
She got that dead mouth.
But I don't remember her having a teleport jump, and I'm trying to think back to it.
I think she did.
Did she?
But it was the one where like you would like backflip and like show up in the other side of the screen, like you'd hit him from behind.
I feel like they all had that though.
Yeah, for the most part.
But I feel
like varying ways,
because Scorpion had his teleport pop up. I just don't remember.
So did Kung Lao.
Yeah,
where he because the hat was on the floor.
Yeah, the hat.
And he like shot up from the ground. And I was like, huh.
Yeah, that was a cool intro. Or not intro, but like.
Well, that was like when he showed up.
Yeah,
and he was just like, hey guys.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm just like, other than that, I was like, fuck, like this is the only thing I can't remember.
I'm almost positive she did.
I'm sure she did because they wouldn't fucking make it up, right?
Yeah.
No.
At least I don't think so.
Yeah.
The one thing that I thought was interesting is they really made Shang Tsung's soul eating thing like very like violent.
Yeah.
Which makes sense for exactly what it is. You're like literally taking the life force out of somebody.
Yeah.
And I was just like, whoa. And was it Kane or Cabal who's like, oh, let's just the scream's the best part.
Yes.
And I was like, how violent is this about to be? And I was like,
it was
exactly
violent.
what you would imagine.
It was violent.
Someone mouth sucking the soul out.
Although, I mean, I feel like I again, that was probably the best representation of the soul, because in the video game, like, you had to beat them to a pulp first before you could take their soul.
Yeah.
But obviously you can't do that here. I mean, you could have. It would have been way more brutal and bloody, which would have been awesome. We would have loved it even better. But I get it. Like, you know, Kung Lao was exposed. Shang Tsung was able to pull him in and petrify him or freeze him, and then was just like, "Give me your soul. Your soul is mine." And that was great.
They did throw out the, like, so he did say that, like, your soul is mine, which is kind of one of the taglines. Mm-hmm. The things that killed me a little bit, that kind of pulled me out of the movie just a little, was when they literally said fatality.
Oh yeah. Or
flawless victory.
Yeah.
And it's like, those are very, very iconic lines of the game, but it didn't make sense for
them to say it
about their own fights.
Yeah. It would have been dope if, like, Voice of God came over and was just like, fatality.
Well, so that's Shao Kahn that says all those in the games. But like, it would have made sense for somebody else to respond to, like, a different fight.
Yes, absolutely.
Other than, like, a Kung Lao sitting there just being like, flawless victory.
Yeah.
Or like, was it Kung Lao after he, like, killed the flying chick?
No, he said flawless victory.
Was he the one that said flawless victory?
Yeah.
Was it Kung Lao that said?
I think it was
Liu Kang that said
fatality.
Fatality?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and I was just like, okay.
Yeah.
Though the only one that didn't was, like, that was aggressively on the nose that fit well enough was when they were first starting the fighting scene, and he's like, all right, like, you know, test your might.
Test your might, yeah.
And I was like, okay,
that's fine.
That one works in context. I guess, I mean, technically the other ones do, but they were just like, that was too cheesy. It was
super cheesy for them to do it to their own thing.
Yeah. Also because, like, it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
But
producers, if you're listening to this, we expect a toasty, but we expect it to be someone in the background saying toasty, not one of the fucking characters saying it.
Yeah, I need contextually appropriate.
Yeah.
Like, here, perfect, right? Here's what happens. Johnny Cage, doesn't matter who character it is, does the splits, punches somebody in the dick.
Nutcracker.
And someone in the background is watching this, and that they throw out a quick toasty.
Someone in the crowd just goes, toasty.
And it could be another fighter.
Yeah.
Right? But, like, not like a main character fighter.
Yeah.
Like, it's just got to be like Mortal Kombat fighter number 6.
Yes.
Like, that's their credit.
Yeah.
And that's who that says it.
Or you could even put Toasty Guy.
Yeah,
that'd
Toasty
be great
Guy
too. Yeah.
And there you go. That's it. We'll just roll with it.
Yeah. Please.
Also,
we'll do it.
Yeah. I mean, hey,
if you need guys,
if you need a toasty,
you
got backup 1 and 2 right here.
We got you.
Actually, you got 1. I give it to you. You do it better than me.
Oh, okay.
And then, you know, in a worst case scenario, Eric randomly gets, like, laryngitis. I'll be backup number 1.
Oh man, I hope I don't get laryngitis.
We'll get you huffing over a steaming pot of water.
Just...
we'll call Kyle.
Oh, there we go.
See,
she'll know how to do it.
Yeah, we'll go. See, we'll do some training with Kyle.
Oh, she'll get my toasty pitches.
Yeah, you'll get it up there. Have some great get your vocal range and just get a good tone.
Each letter gets its own.
Yeah, a little waveform on here. Oh, it's gonna be perfect. Anyway.
All right, so shall we touch on the final battle?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Cole gets pulled into a gym that he trains at by Sub-Zero because Sub-Zero captures his family. He comes out of the realm with the his daughter's strength bracelet strength bracelet, crushes it. It's just like, I got your family. Cole goes charging in. All hell breaks loose for Sub-Zero because he's not expecting what's about to happen to his ass. And that was one of what we were waiting for.
Oh, wait, before you get into that.
All right.
So we were talking about how we didn't really know how Scorpion was. Sorry, so many names I'm trying to, like, get straight. how Scorpion was going to kind of reappear, like knowing that he was going to at some point in time. So before the point that I stopped Eric, after Cole gets his powers, he meets Raiden is finally like it was kind of one of those like cheeky smiles, like, yeah, I know what I was doing. Like, yeah, I planned this type of thing. He gives him a knife, which is effectively like the little like dagger from his father, or sorry, from his ancestor.
Yeah.
Who is Scorpion. And he learned, like, so that's where Cole learns that his like bloodline comes down through essentially Scorpion, and this mark has effectively like passed from generation to generation all the way down to where Cole is now. And so Raiden makes a comment. He's like, this blade has the blood of your ancestor, the Scorpion, say Hanzo, on it. Now pick up where you left off.
Yeah. So Cole goes in, starts getting fucking thrown around by Sub-Zero. Sub-Zero's pulling all his little ice tricks on him, throws him into the ring. He sees his family. He's like, oh shit, I gotta save my family. And then they get into a nice little hand-to-hand combat in the ring. I believe Cole is getting choked out, and he reaches back to grab the dagger. And when he grabs the dagger, he gets the flashback of Scorpion, and he's like, fuck, like, I got to stab this guy. So he starts trying to cut into the armor, and Sub-Zero grabs the knife or grabs the dagger, flips it on him, and it's in Cole's hand now. And Cole's fighting for his life, holding the dagger, and you could see blood coming out of Cole's hand. And that blood kind of starts to illuminate on the dagger. Sub-Zero notices the dagger, and he's like, oh shit, like, I've seen this before. As he realizes, he tries to punch the dagger into Cole's armor even farther, and we finally get the entrance we wanted, and he says the thing, and erections arise everywhere.
And collectively in the audience, everybody's pants got a little bit tighter.
Yes, the pleats were on point.
We're aplenty. Yeah, so finally we get the re-battle of Scorpion and Sub-Zero come, however many
full circle, 7,000 circles.
Yeah, centuries later.
Yeah.
And it's awesome. Like, it's awesome. Like, you get the exact battle that you want. Like, and we were talking about weapons. Like, Sub-Zero had his like ice blade, and Scorpion had his katana.
Yep.
We get the absolute iconic, like, he throws his spear into Sub-Zero and gets the get over here.
Yes.
Which I really wish Ed Boon would have been the voice for that, since he was the original voice for it too, and that like that sound is like so iconic.
It's unique. Yeah, like the get over here. Like, it's almost impossible to replicate if you're not him.
Yeah.
And you have to hit it with that specific emphasis.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, it was great.
Yeah.
Like, but it was fantastic, just different.
Yeah. I mean, I still giggled. I was still excited.
Oh yeah, there's like that little childhood. It was like, oh, he said it. He said the thing we wanted him to say.
Yep.
It's like so exciting. Yeah, so we get like a really awesome fight scene.
Yeah.
I really back and forth.
I really like, so not only the frost blade, I really like the ice wall. I really like the
that like clone
the
one.
decoy. Yeah, the ice decoy. Those were, another couple spammable things from Sub-Zero in the game. So I really thought that those were cool.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing that we didn't get from Sub-Zero that I wish we would have done was when he like shoots the floor and you slip.
Oh yes.
Oh, he's just like,
yeah, that would have been good.
If only. But a boy can dream.
Yes.
But otherwise, like, hit all of the things we wanted, and then the final fight, Cole is like, or the ending sequence of this fight, like Cole is trying to save his family, which they're like kind of coming back to life a little bit. Scorpion
hits the ground with hellfire and starts to melt all the ice.
Yeah, Sub-Zero has like kind of effectively been defeated because they had a little ancestral tag team.
He fucked up trying to go 2-on-1.
Oh yeah,
he fucked and in the ring,
the hubris.
Yes.
at a certain point, like Scorpion says he speaks Japanese and Cole does not.
Yeah.
Which
they also didn't address.
We don't know if he speaks Japanese now that I say that.
I don't even. Yeah, I mean,
I'd be surprised.
I'd be surprised if he knew he was Japanese.
Also true.
Yeah. Because he was an orphan. Didn't say where he's from.
Chicago.
Chicago. That's right.
Yeah. So they kind of like, Scorpion says something like Japanese. He's like, I got this one. And Cole's just like, okay. Cole like, he's got like, I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. He just like does that nod.
Yeah. It's like, So they go back. Cole's like trying, going back to try and save his wife and kid. And Scorpion does the thing we love.
Yes.
He like rips his mask off and just breathes fire onto Sub-Zero.
Yeah.
And it's magical. And the best,
beautiful.
like, and I think, again, they did such a great job because, like, normally with, like, Scorpion, when he would take off his, like, his entire, like, headdress in the video game and he just had, like, a skeleton.
He'd be full skull, yeah.
And so in this one, he still had, like, skin and all that stuff. And as he was doing it, you can start to see the skeleton, like, come out.
Yes.
Because, like, effectively the fire from his mouth was, like, burning away the skin.
Yeah.
And I was like, that is awesome.
They did it justice.
It was so
really
cool.
It was really good.
And and then he like put it on and then took it back off and he was like, and I'm back.
Yeah.
Which
he's like, don't mind my teeth.
Yeah, like
haven't had a toothbrush in about 200 years.
I'm from the feudal era.
Yeah.
Things were different. Leave me alone. And and then he just kind of like teleports away.
Yep.
He's like, I'll be back.
He's like, he says, take care of my bloodline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. But the cool part is like, he ain't dead.
Nope.
So there's a very good chance that we're going to see, hopefully Scorpion again, because I didn't read this, but I guess from the director, they're looking at wanting to do a there was an article that I didn't read, but I saw that was explaining kind of where the movies were supposed to, like how the franchise was supposed to move after this, because it effectively is going to be like a revitalization of the Mortal Kombat series.
Yeah.
Which, if this is their starting point, I think it's going to be awesome.
Yeah. Let's get Jon Favreau and Kevin Feige on there.
Nah. No, they'll make it too jokey.
Damn it.
You need like a...
You're right. We need blood and destruction and despair. And
we need Michael Bay.
We do need Michael Bay. No.
We need more explosions.
God damn it. We can't get Michael Bay on there. It'll be random explosions for no reason.
Who did like Blade? Like...
Ooh.
Like,
Who did Blade?
I feel like Blade, like whoever directed Blade would be like a good universe to like bounce off of. I'm trying to think who.
Stephen Norrington.
Oh, perfect. Steve Norrington. I'm sure you got some free time. I mean, I actually hope you don't have free time, that you've been continued success. But if you're free, let's bounce some ideas off into the new Mortal Kombat franchise.
He did Blade, League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
That was not a good movie.
Death Machine, The Last Minute, Return to Oz. Maybe we don't want Steve Norrington.
Yeah, let me take that back.
Yeah.
Wait, which Blade was that?
Just Blade 1.
Oh, the first one? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, maybe what's the follow? Was it Blade 2 where they can like go outside and they're like vampires? Which one brought Dracula back? Is that the third one? Honestly, let's just bring back Blade. Like free Wesley Snipes.
There is a Blade. There's a Blade coming.
Is there?
Yeah.
Oh.
Guillermo del Toro did Blade 2.
Okay. See, there we go. All right, there's somebody.
And then Blade 3 was done by David S. Goyer. But yes, there is a Blade. There's a new Blade coming, and
is Ryan Reynolds going to be in it again?
No, it's
Dang it!
Fuck, what's that dude's name? He's Remy in House of Cards.
I didn't watch House of Cards.
Hold on. I'm gonna fight it for you.
Okay, that's fine. I have a feeling I don't know who this is. Well, I know who this is.
You should know who this is. I'm gonna butcher his name. Mahershala Ali.
Okay. I don't know who that is.
No?
Also,
he's a good actor.
Let me see the spelling of the name.
Mahershala.
Where is this?
At the top. In
Oh
bold.
my god, that's his first name?
Yeah.
Mahershala?
Yeah. I feel like I butchered it, and I apologize.
If you are listening to this, M. Ali.
Yeah.
Sorry. I've never heard your name pronounced.
I've heard it, and I'm still butchering it, probably.
Cool.
I think you're a good actor, though.
But I like you.
Yeah.
And
Mahershala. I'm just going to Mahershala Ali.
It works.
Yeah.
It works for now. And in case you're curious, there is no end credit scene.
Yes.
Sadly.
Sadly.
But it does end into but the final scene of the movie is the one that we were talking about with like knowing that Johnny Cage is to come, because he was back at the fighting ring or back at the gym, which like the promoter is such a funky dude.
He is
like stereotypically like, hey Cole,
yeah,
come on kid, you got to get your fight in.
You want to get another fight? $200.
$200 to fight. And he's like, I'm giving it up. He's like, what are you gonna do, kid? And he's like, I'm going to Hollywood. And it's like, okay,
yeah,
what a weird interaction.
What's in Hollywood? Not what.
Who? And so he And so he walks out, and it kind of like cuts to or like pans into a poster that's like a Johnny Cage movie
Citizen
poster.
Citizen
Cage. And that's it. And that's where it ends off.
Yeah. And then we get that super cool new techno intro.
Outro.
In our intro. Outro intro.
I don't understand.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's the movie.
Yeah. Hope you can follow that timeline that we just explained, because it was all over the place. It
was all fucked up.
But
if you want to pay us $22, we could do it again. You don't even need to go to the movie.
100%. But ultimately, it was a really fun film or a movie to watch. It's if you are a Mortal Kombat fan, it's exactly I thought it was exactly what you would want out of a Mortal Kombat movie.
Agreed.
Like, it's just ridiculous. Like, I think storytelling is better than the original movies,
of course,
by a long shot.
Yeah.
Graphically, it's significantly better.
Oh yeah. Leaps and bounds better.
But again, it's not an award-winning film.
If this, I was joking with Ryan. If this wins an Academy Award or Oscar or whatever, that means literally no other movies came out this year.
Well, did you like look into the Oscars at all this year?
I didn't,
bro. I know 2 movies.
Yeah, I did.
Like maybe 3 movies.
So Mortal Kombat fucked up by coming out this year instead of last year, because then they probably would have won one.
Potentially.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, costume design,
CGI, or visual effects.
Maybe.
Definitely not acting.
Definitely not acting.
Maybe supporting role. I don't know. There's a lot of supporting casts.
But again, still no.
Yeah.
It's don't watch this movie for upstanding acting abilities.
Yeah.
Like, and I feel bad for even like saying that, because it's like
okay. If you want to watch comedy, watch it for Kano. If you want to watch it for acting, probably watch it for a different movie. I don't feel bad saying that. I think they did a great job with acting out their portrayal of the characters, but you're not getting a Robert Downey Jr. in Iron Man. You're not getting Tom Cruise in either Mission Impossible or whatever the fuck other movie. You're not getting a
what's the bartender one that he was in? What's it called?
We're gonna get crucified for this one. Oh my god, I can see him fucking sliding across the floor. Oh Jesus Christ!
I'm looking it up.
This is killing me.
I don't get service down here.
Oh god damn it! It's
Cocktail.
Wow, we suck.
I didn't look it up. I remembered it. In case you're curious.
1988.
What?
1988.
Is that when the movie came out? In case you're curious, this was what was still on my phone. I couldn't figure it out.
Fair. Yeah. I see Floyd Mayweather on there.
We were talking about Floyd Mayweather earlier.
Fights. Okay. Tom Cruise and A Few Good Men.
Sure. There we go.
You're not going to get... It's not that caliber of acting.
Yeah.
It's decent acting for what it is. But again, nobody's taking home...
You're watching it
an Oscar.
You're watching it for the campiness.
Yeah.
And
you're watching it because you're a fan.
Yeah. Because you like Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Or you just want to watch an action movie.
Or you just want to watch something gory.
That too.
Yeah. It's not even that gory.
Yeah, it's not. It's like it's actually very few scenes.
Yeah.
Where it's like gratuitous in a sense where you're like, ooh.
Yeah.
But again, it's so like over the top that you're kind of like, ooh.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed.
All right. Awesome, man. Any parting notes or final words?
Nah. I think we nailed it. If you can't, I mean, if you haven't seen it, I'm sorry you made it this far and listened to us. You should have probably gone to see it before. Go see it in the theater. We didn't do it justice explaining it. The theater will do it justice.
Yeah, watch it. It's very much well worth it.
Yeah.
So yeah, Eric, where can people find us?
People can find us at our Instagram at another.rep.podcast, or they can email us at anotherreppodcast@gmail.com.
And you can listen to us wherever you listen to podcasts. And if you've been enjoying, please rate, review, subscribe. It helps us out.
Share
it up. That helps us out as well.
Yeah.
And we'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye.